Watch the ride.
Hello. So, a question I get relatively regularly, and I've been asked recently, is how do you mentally prepare yourself to get back on a bike after a bad crash? Now, I have made videos on this before. One was called Never Riding Again, and the other one was how to avoid near misses. Kind of, they go in hand in hand. But I've been asked to sort of go back over it, and it has been quite a while since my crash, so it'll you'll understand that things have progressed a bit mentally for me in that time. 5 years ago, I had a pretty serious crash which left me with a broken foot that I didn't know was broken for 18 months, so that was painful to walk on. That took a second operation to fix. A mangled knee that has pretty permanent ligament damage, nerve damage, all those sorts of things in it, but other than not being able to kneel on it anymore, it's okay. I mean, I can kneel if I have knee pads, but not on hard floors, just no chance. I removed a piece of bone and a tendon in my left thumb that they reattached late, and that meant that I lost some movement and some strength in my left hand, in my thumb. That's never recovered. And my right hand, my thumb got hyperextended, and that recovered to normal parameters. I have a slightly increased chance of epilepsy from the head injury, because I had memory problems for about 2 months after it. It was a pretty nasty shunt, okay, is what I'm getting at here. However, the day after it, I just wanted to be back on my bike, and I could never get that out of me. And people ask me, how do you mentally prepare yourself to get back on a bike? It's difficult for me to say, because I always just was like, I don't care, I'm getting back on a bike. It's that ingrained into my blood, into my bones, that life without bikes is not worth living. Was I apprehensive before I rode? Sure I was. Yeah, I had some worries, but none of them were anything like, oh, should I ride again? Do I want to ride again? Or anything like that. They were more simple, like, I'm out of practice, I need to get back in practice, I hope I don't crash again, because I don't want to go through all this freaking paperwork and the time. It wasn't the risk to my life or anything like that concerned me, it was the paperwork. I ceremoniously burnt it a few months back. Did I burn it? Yeah, I did. Most of the paperwork left over from it that just didn't need to be there anymore. I had the final report and all the reports from the crash, so I didn't need it. And it's all finalised now, so none of it means anything. It was good to put that behind me. But the thing is, because of the way that my thumb is, right now my thumb hurts a little bit. I've just been green laning, it's been shunted around a bit. Yeah, it hurts a little bit. You might notice I often ride like this. I can even change gear like this. And people, so what the hell are you doing? It's simply because my thumb might be hurting from the damage from that crash, so it's hard for me to forget that crash. So what it did do, it reminds me all the time about the risks of riding, but that doesn't put me off. The simple answer is I don't know. If you've had a crash and you feel apprehensive about getting back on the bike, just, if it was your fault, then well done for you for admitting it was your fault, because very few people will do that. I've even said that even though the accident I had was not my fault in any way, shape or form legally, there is stuff I could have done about it, and that's what the video called Avoiding Near Misses is about. If it was your fault, and you can admit to that, or even if it wasn't your fault, if you want to take an extra training course day, like, if you got your new bike, if your bike's been written off, or you get back on your bike, you can always go to a test centre, a school, and ask them to just do an hour's just refresher, so you have someone with you in your ear reminding you, and it will help you through it. I never needed that. I was lucky enough that I just got on the bike and I just slowly went out. For the first trip was just a short jolly round the block pretty much. However, the one thing that I do every single time that I've crashed is the first ride I ride back past the exact same spot. Because for me, when those accidents happen, or when they've happened, it felt like my life went on hold. And it's like, no, we have to go back round, do it again, and everything restarts again at the point that you get back past that point, like a computer game. It's not a computer game, obviously, it's just real life, and you have to remember that, and that's how a lot of people do seem to ride, as if it's a computer game and the consequences aren't real. The consequences are very real. And if anyone says to you, oh, there's no risk, don't worry about it, it's bullshit, they're lying to you. Of course there's risks of riding a bike, but it's worth it. but you have to equally look after yourself a little bit with that. And to be part of this group of people who, although we don't really know each other, well, I don't know any of those, we'll still nod at each other, and if one of us saw another one of us crash or in need, we would be stopping and helping. We would. It's just the way that it is. It's kind of the code. And it, you know, for the fun and the excitement of riding a bike, plus the I don't want to say brotherhood because there are sisters there too, but the brother sisterhood-ishness, you know what I'm saying. It's amazing. Just remember that's what you're returning to. That's what you're gonna push yourself against fear for. Some people will say, fuck it, I just can't warrant that risk because they might have kids or a family or something. We all have family, we all have friends. But for some, they can't warrant that risk anymore. And I can respect that. I think it's a real shame, but I can respect it. See, this is the problem. I feel like I'm giving a really crappy answer because there's some people who are properly emotionally in a turmoiled part of their life right now where they really want to return to riding, but there is a fear holding them back. I guess to say never let fear hold you back, because all the best things in life are always just on the other side of that fear. As I say, to return to riding, take it easy, one thing at a time. Think more. Maybe even take a rider awareness type course or something to try and raise your skills, and slowly build your confidence up. Don't try and get straight back into it and, you know, go blasting through the corners. Some people will do that, but your skills are not where they were. Your muscle memory is still, it's there, but it's not as tuned. You need to give yourself a chance. I don't feel like I've explained this very well because it was not a feeling I had myself. To explain something in a way that you can understand properly, you have to have experienced it and understand it yourself. And I don't fully understand the fear. I can put myself empathetically in your situation, but I can't put myself in that point where at any point would I consider not riding again, like it wasn't worth it. So maybe other people in the comments, can you help out with this one? You know, I'm sure sharing some stories, talking to each other, trying to help each other with things, it might help. Because nearly all of us have had an accident of some kind, whether it be a little one or a big one. For some of us, it's, you know, the injuries I had in mind were nothing. You know, some people have been left permanently damaged and can't ever ride again. They just don't have the choice. So, yeah, have a discussion. See where you come to. Thank you for watching, and I hope that kind of helps.